Okay, so it's time for yet another unboxing really soon. And I'm not sure, but I think that this box I just received today is Zombicide 2nd edition from Cool Mini or Not. It's just a wild guess. So let's get it open. As you can see, this isn't a huge box. It's pretty big, but I mean that like normally when you get something from Cool Mini or Not from one of their Kickstarters, you can get a box that's about 3 times this size. But I exercised a little restraint for this one since I already have tons of Zombicide. And I just got, this is restraint, I just got the base set, which comes with all the Kickstarter extras, the stretch goals, and also, just because I've never had any before, I got the metal dice. So let's have a look and see what's in there. It's really well packaged again, and this is another one that's been done, delivered to us from Etherworks. And what do we have? All right, so here is the box for Zombicide 2nd edition. And here's the box called the Reboot Box. So this is all the Kickstarter extra stuff. This is a huge Kickstarter, the Zombicide ones. It's probably their most successful thing. And this heavy little thing are the crazy metal dice I decided to get for some reason. Let's just open those first because I think that'll be an easy one to look at. So Zombicide always offers custom dice. Usually they're nice plastic ones with what do you call it? Instead of the 1, they have a zombie face, and instead of the 6, they have a torch or a Molotov cocktail or whatever represents the thing that you use to blow up lots of zombies. So there it is, full metal dice. Oh wow. Those are nice. Very, very hefty. Don't roll these directly on the table if you care about dents. Those are so nice. Look at that. Just, let's see if I can focus this very well. But you see there's your stick of dynamite, and there's your zombie face. So they've got these gray ones and gold colored ones, and they're just solid metal. Very nice. I like those a lot, actually. And since they're basically just 6-sided dice, you can use them for just about anything that requires 6-sided dice, so it's not the most stupid thing to buy. And because I have so much Zombicide stuff, it's kind of good to get the blingy kind of extras. All right, so let's have a look inside the main box and see what we've got here. So this is 1 to 6 players, 14 plus, 1 hour to play. That all sounds right. And this is the 2nd edition of the original Zombicide. So they've done tons of Zombicide. There's Zombicide, the original one, and then they did 2 more Kickstarters, and each of those Kickstarters had 2 extra expansions with it and tons of little mini sets. And then they re-implemented it with the Zombicide Black Plague, which had an expansion with tons of minis expansions, or smaller expansions. And then they did it again with Zombicide Invader, which is a sci-fi theme. And then they did this one, and then after that they actually did one that's Night of the Living Dead theme. So there's quite a lot of Zombicide out there. So let's look at the box. Pretty decent. Like I think some games the cardboard is about twice as thick. The Cool Mini or Not games, this is about the normal quality for their boxes. So it's good. It's not the best, but it's totally fine. Wow, that's a really thick manual, rules and missions. So normally it's a one fold over with a row of staples. This one actually has I don't know if you can see it, but it has like a squared edge and way more pages than normal. So that's cool. I don't know why. I guess because more scenarios? Because the rules have not changed very much. They've streamlined the game in the 2nd edition, made it easier to read, faster to set up, so you're not spending all your time digging around with bits and pieces. So what do we got here? So this is the box that has all the minis in it. And in here, you have your flat packed punch boards. So that's not all punch boards. Most of those are the tiles for the modular game board, and here's the top 2 or so are punch boards that have like, I don't know what those are. Sound tokens, some sort of things, looks like discover things. So that's very interesting. Let's have a look. Let's have a look in there, so what's cool about this is because when they made Black Plague, they made huge improvements to the gameplay, the mechanics of the game. And then when they made Invader, they did it again. And then but they still, like when you wanted to play the original modern Zombicide, it didn't hold up to those other games that had such improved mechanics. So now they've taken those and re-implemented those rules back into the original setting of the game, which is cool because if you want to just do, Zombicide, where you're killing zombies in a modern, like the classic modern zombie apocalyptic environment with cars and cities and stuff, this is the game. Not everybody wants the medieval setting, not everybody wants the sci-fi setting, so it's good to have this up to date. All right, so one of the things that they updated is bringing out these plastic dashboards. They're really getting nice with these too. They've reduced the size of them a bit. So they introduced these with Black Plague, improved them a bit with Invader, and here they are again. Now, since this game has come out, they just recently did a Kickstarter as well for a Western-themed Zombicide. So that's something to look forward to as well. If you feel that medieval sci-fi or modern Zombicide isn't going to be enough. Oh, what? Did they finally do it? Let's have a look. On the back of this card, they've got like some character instructions. So this is something that's always been missing. I don't know, but this might just be like a reference card, but I want to see. So here's one of the main characters, Amy. That's her powers. And on the flip side is a picture of Amy and a description of her special abilities. So instead of having to go into the rule book to figure out what somebody's ability is, because the abilities that you can get during the game, most of them are sort of generic. Like everybody has that, like a +1 action or free move action. It's just self-explanatory. But some of them, like Medic, you don't know automatically what that does. Flip it over, it actually tells you. That is such a great improvement. They've needed that for so long. Another change they made with modern Zombicide is, in addition to the normal 6 adult zombie characters that you can play, they've made kid characters, which is something they introduced as a mini expansion in Invader. So this is just a fun idea. It's like, what's better than pretending to be someone killing zombies in a post-apocalyptic environment? Well, what about being a gang of kids doing the same? So that's brilliant. And these are the game cards, and I don't have the original ones here to look at, but right off the bat, they've really made the graphics pop out. So there's very, very clear colors on the backs of these cards. So there's it's like they just made the graphics a lot more clear, and it just pops out. And the mechanics, the way these work, I think they've managed to improve them quite a lot, so that there's a lot less monkeying around. So this is, look at this police car. Oh, that's the vehicles that you can use. That's one upgrade I didn't get. You could have gotten 3D cars, but there was so much to get on this campaign, and I needed to restrain myself, because you can easily spend hundreds of dollars just on the one game. And since I already have that many versions, so these are the dice that come with the game. So just 6 standard dice. Normally these come in red, but they've sent black ones, so that's different. But you can see how much nicer these metal ones are to the plastic ones. They're larger. The plastic ones are actually very nice. They're good quality dice, but these metal ones are really cool. So I'm not complaining about those. And these are all the pegs, which is part of the improvement with the dashboard, so you can keep track of wounds and things without having cards flopping all over. These dashboards, by the way, are such a huge improvement. They cost a lot of money to manufacture. They add a lot of cost to the game, but they make it so much easier to play because you have your character cards, you put your equipment in these slots, and you can put pegs, and then you have a sliding tracker. It just holds up really well, and you're not having to, worry about bumping the table and having everything on your character dashboard fly all over the place. So it was a really good decision for them to add that, especially in this game, which is actually kind of a very action-y game. All right, so look at these miniatures. So this one comes with 4 different look abominations, and the detail is always just going up and up and up. That's crazy detailed. And then here's some of your kid characters and your adult characters. So there's Wanda, the chainsaw wielding roller waitress, next to one of the new characters as a kid, and you can see there's a slight size difference. So in the box, this is really cool because originally you would buy the base set alone at retail or wherever, and you would get your 6 playable characters. But now they've doubled it, so you have 6 more playable characters. That gives you a lot more game options from the base set. Obviously, when you do the Kickstarter, you get all this, so but not everybody has a chance to do that. So it's really cool that they're making the game itself have that level of extra replayability. So here's some of the zombie runners, and just the details on these things are insane. And then if I lift this out, and they've improved these inserts, like the way that they've made a nice little reservoir for the cards. That's pretty cool. So this is just all the zombies, and they have tons of them. Here's your classic guy with the end is nigh type sign. And the detail's so much better. You actually have like molded in there writing. Normally when people get these, they paint them and they'll put their own little posters on there, but they've actually gone so far as to write them this. And they've done another cool thing. Look at this. So these are your standard walkers. They're this light gray color. This is a fatty, and this is a runner. They've made them darker, and that's a really great improvement because in the game, you end up having tons and tons of these on the board, and it can be very confusing which ones are your simple walkers, and especially which ones are these runners. And they can get mixed in, and you, as a player, can forget that they're there and make a poor decision because you think you're going to be fighting these and not these, and that's a big difference in fighting those 2 different things. So what do we got here? Looks like a zombie fireman. Just really, really, really cool. The details on these sculpts, it just goes up and up every time they release a new version of this game. So if you're someone that's into miniatures, I mean, gosh, this is a really good. This is just a really good and fun one to get, and just so much plastic for you to enjoy. And if you're a mini painter, this is kind of a must-have. I'm gonna put these back in here, and yeah, they've organized this box so much better. Like usually, they have this thing, and then all the minis are sort of put into there, but they've designed it so that this box now very comfortably fits the cards and the dashboards, which that's a big improvement because now you're not trying to find space for them inside this box. You usually end up having to sort of rearrange things, and so you end up throwing out those inserts so that you can make everything fit. All right, so I left a piece out. Don't want to do that. And this, especially if you paint your minis again, like having those inserts is a pretty good place to start from because it just keeps your minis from getting jostled around and the paint scraping off or otherwise damaged. All right. Whoa. So there's the base set of this game, and again, like lots of nice artwork. They've really made the graphics pop. They've used much brighter colors with sharper distinction between the colors. I'm seeing a lot less use of, heavy shading, and so it's a very eye-grabbing box and just very nice. All right, so then there's that, and here is all of this. So this one is just pretty much going to be a big, huge box full of minis, and those minis are going to be they had a daily zombie. So every day during the campaign, they showed us a new zombie sculpt, and you can use special rules with each of those, so that like when they show up, there's a special effect, or you can just use them to flesh out your zombie mob or your horde. So there's the Reboot Box rules, and that has, there's the individual rules that you can use for each zombie if you're interested in doing that. And here's a set of abominations, and they went with sort of a fantasy monster theme. So there's a man-bear pig, there's a chupacabra, there's the Slender Man, what's that one? The Mummy, and Cthulhu. And, oh my goodness. What? Why do they have another Amy? Oh yeah. You know what this is? So these, I believe, are the cards for what's in this box. These are upgrade cards, so that if you have the previous 3 Kickstarters worth of Zombicide from this first edition, you can upgrade all of those characters and use their minis and characters with this game, and that's cool. I only really have a couple of those boxes because I kind of came in right before Black Plague, and I don't know why that guy's floating separately, but there he is. And here are some cards to bring out the various types of abominations, so you can shuffle those into your zombie spawn deck. What? And they had a lot of fun with this. So they did more fatty sculpts. So that's a sumo wrestler fatty. Right, there he is. Not sure where this camera is pointing. And more abominations. So there's it looks like a zombified Bigfoot. This one's great. It's actually not a zombie. It's what's his name? They call this the actual cannibal. So he's just a guy. He's a cannibal. He's not a zombie at all. He's a psychopath. It's from that song about now I can't remember his name. Here's the Village People, and that's really cool. It's oops, durable plastic. It's one figure that actually has 5 different zombie sculpts in it. How cool is that? Whoa, the cat lady. Awesome. Gotta have a zombie cat lady. And here's somebody that's popping out of their coffin. Like I said, they really had fun with it. What is this thing? Man bat of some sort. A zombie vampire. And the detail on these minis is just through the roof. What's this one? Oh, it's the Chinese dragon. So it's those 2 guys in a suit, and they're both zombies. So that one's getting dragged around by the bum, and that one's at the front. This game is, and he's missing an arm, nothing up the sleeve, that's a magician. This game is macabre, but it's also very whimsical and silly. And they've just had so much fun with it, the way they've done it. Where am I holding this? Can you see it? What's this guy? Here's a guy with a guitar. Oh, it's the one-man band. Excellent. All right, so there's all of that. Shia LaBeouf, that's who that is. It's from the song about being chased through the park by Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf? I don't know how to say it. And here are all of the playable characters that come with the Kickstarter. So these I think are pretty much all Kickstarter exclusives. And there's one that's supposed to be kind of like a Serena Williams. Where is she? But she's got like a shovel instead of a tennis racket. There's the Queen of England. They did this cool thing where they introduced ex-presidents. I didn't get those. You had to actually like get the full, almost all-in pledge. So there's a few of them in here, but you could have had your own version of Donald Trump and Barack Obama and Ronald Reagan. I was very tempted because it's like, well, how much fun would it be to those guys killing zombies? But I didn't, so I guess I'll never know. What's this guy doing? What are these cool characters? Usually they just do a lot of celebrity lookalikes. Like there's Miley Cyrus with a wrecking ball. But this time they also did characters that are not necessarily anybody in particular. Like just cool kind of characters that you might want to be. That's the kind of there's a role-playing aspect of this game, so it's nice that they try to be really representational and put as many types of people in this game as possible so that when you go to play it, you can choose your favorite one to be. And that's, I've always thought that was a really cool thing about this game, is how versatile it is. All right, so without going through every single individual mini and looking at all of them, which I wouldn't mind doing, but my camera is not really giving tons of detail anyway. We'll just leave it at that because I think this is a nice long video. So there it is, Zombicide 2nd edition. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and be sure to follow along. I'll have more as I continue to indulge in my board game buying habit. And also, we will be at some time in the future doing a review of this game once we've had a chance to give it a good playthrough a few times or more, and on our podcast, hotgamemagnet.com. So please have a check there. We've got over 80 episodes now of different board game reviews, interviews with board game creators, and of course we love to do our monthly Kickstarter roundup where we tell you all the most interesting games